Good morning children. Welcome back to online class today. Children, in the previous class I gave some homework, isn't it? I hope you all studied and completed the homework. Okay children, in the previous class we all learned about environment, isn't it? Do you remember what are the components found in the environment? Biotic and abiotic components, isn't it? Biotic components are plants and animals. Abiotic components are non-living things found in the environment, isn't it? Such as soil, water, temperature, wind, etc. Is it, ma? Then what about environmental conservation? The protection and maintenance of environment, isn't it, ma? Today we are going to learn about wildlife and its conservation. Okay, wildlife and its conservation. Wildlife and its conservation. That is nothing but protection, isn't it? This what do you know what is wildlife? Wildlife is all non-domesticated and non-cultivated flora and fauna found in the environment. Okay, all non-domesticated or non-cultivated. Okay, others all non-cultivated varieties found in the environment. All non-domesticated and non-cultivated flora and fauna found in the environment. That is wildlife. Okay, this flora means plants, isn't it? Fauna, animals. Undomesticated animals living in their natural habitat is wildlife. Okay, what do you mean by wildlife? Undomesticated or non-domesticated and non-cultivated flora and fauna found in the environment is wildlife. Okay, thus there is no human habitation there. So protection and maintenance of wildlife is called wildlife conservation. What do you mean by wildlife conservation? Protection and maintenance of wildlife is called wildlife conservation. This wildlife conservation helps in promoting economic activities of the country, isn't it, ma? It helps in promoting the economic activities which improves tourism. If there is wildlife, it will be a tourist place there, isn't it? So it helps in promoting economic activities of a country. Okay, now so you all know about what is wildlife conservation, isn't it? Wildlife protection and maintenance of wildlife is called wildlife conservation. Okay, decline in wildlife population. How it become lesser? How it is becoming lesser? A decline in wildlife population. The wildlife resources has decreased in a global level by 52% between the year 1970 and 2014 because of over-exploitation. Over-exploitation, or use unfairly and shrink because of certain human activities. Okay, shrinkage of forest cover areas has resulted in animals become extinct. So over exploitation and shrinkage of forest cover may result in animals become extinct. What do you mean by extinct? Species which are not there in this world. Species of animals and plants not there in the world. That is extinct. What do you mean by endangered? This is extinct. So extinct means extinct species which are not there in this world, isn't it? That is extinct. What do you mean by endangered? Species which are going to become extinct. Species which are going to become extinct or endangered species. How the wildlife population is going to become lesser? It has because of over exploitation and shrinking of forest cover. Okay, so shrinking of forest cover areas resulted in animals become extinct. What do you mean by extinct? Species which are not there in this world. What are it? Some animals are threatened by some other animals and some are on the verge of extinction. What do you mean by extinct? The species which are not there in the world are no longer existing. Okay, endangered. What is endangered? Species which are not there in the world. So because to overcome all these problems, extinction and endangered, this wildlife have to be protected, isn't it? So certain parks and sanctuaries are established to protect the wildlife. Next, about aims of wildlife management. Main aim of wildlife conservation is to control and limit the exploitation of the species. Okay, to control and limit the exploitation of the species. Next, to preserve plants and animals from extinction. So the main aim of wildlife, why we have to manage why we have to protect the wildlife, because wildlife is very important. It is important for tourism. It will increase the economy of the country. Certain medicinal plants are obtained from the forest. We know in the previous class we all learned about forest and its importance, isn't it? So we have to protect the wildlife. The main aim of wildlife conservation is to control and limit exploitation of species. Second thing is to preserve the plants and animals from extinction. We should not allow the animals to extinct. Okay. Then protect the species which are on the verge of extinction. Some species are going to become extinct. We must protect the species which are on the verge of extinction. Then preserve the endangered species. What is endangered? The species which are going to become extinct. You have to preserve the endangered species. Then to study the ecological relationship of the plants and animals in the natural habitat. Okay, for this, so this to study the ecological relationship of plants and animals in natural habitat. Next, hunting and poaching should be prohibited. Hunting, certain animals are killed for their valuable skin, tusks, etc. We should not allow to hunt animals, and we should not hunt animals for their valuable products. Okay, so hunting and poaching should be prohibited. Then establishment of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, protected areas and biosphere resource. Okay, what are sanctuaries? Protected place for wildlife, isn't it? So establishment of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, then protected areas and biosphere reserves. Okay, so for so wildlife have to be protected because they have certain aesthetic values, okay, or scientific values. So this wildlife have to be protected. So wildlife so that Wildlife Protection Act was established in the year 1972. Okay, Wildlife Protection Act was started or established in the year 1972. This Wildlife Protection Act has some conditions or some provisions. Okay, the conditions or provisions of the Wildlife Act are: first one is prohibiting hunting and killing of animals. We all know that certain animals are killed for their valuable products, isn't it? So the conditions, so that Wildlife Protection Act was started in the year 1972. The conditions or the provisions of the Wildlife Act are: first one is prohibit or prevent killing and hunting of wild animals. Okay. Next one is constitute sanctuaries, national parks and closed areas for wildlife conservation. Closed areas or protected areas for wildlife conservation. Next, constitute the central zoo authority and recognition of zoos, or this establishment of zoos. Okay, establishment of zoos for the protection of animals. For zoos, okay, protection of animals. Then restrict or prohibit. We should not buy the animal valuable products. It should be prohibited. So this restrict or prohibit trade of wild animals and products obtained from them. Okay. So we should not buy the we must prohibit trade in wild animal products. Then we can protect the wildlife. So that certain organizations are started to protect the wildlife. Okay. Now we are going to learn the organizations involved in conservation of wildlife. What do you mean by wildlife conservation? Protection and maintenance of wildlife, isn't it? So we all know that wildlife is very, very important, isn't it, mom? So organizations involved in conservation of wildlife. First organization IBWL. Okay, first organization IBWL. That is Indian Board for Wildlife. Okay, so certain organizations are established to protect the wildlife or to conserve the wildlife. First is IBWL, Indian Board for Wildlife Conservation. Second is WWF. What is that? WWF, World Wildlife Fund for Nature or Fund in Nature. World Wildlife Fund in Nature. Third is World Conservation Union, WCN. World Conservation Union. Okay, Union for Nature. These organizations are involved. Organizations are involved to conserve nature. Then IUCN. Next organization, IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Okay. Next is CITES. This is one of the organization. This is Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species. This is one of the organization established to conserve the wildlife. Next is Bombay Natural History Society. Okay. Next organization is Bombay History Natural Society. The last one is Wildlife Preservation Society of India, which is in Bethlahem. Okay. So these are the organizations involved in protection of wildlife. Okay. These organizations are established to protect the wildlife. So we all know that wildlife is very important, isn't it, mom? Okay, what is wildlife? The all non-domesticated and non-cultivated biota found in the environment. Next, about soil erosion. Okay, so you all know that this top layer of the soil that contain humus, isn't it? Humus. The top soil contain humus. It increases the fertility of the soil. So the fertile part of the soil is the upper part of the soil. The removal of upper layer of the soil by wind and water is called what? Soil erosion. Okay, what do you mean by soil erosion? The removal of upper part of the soil or upper layer of the soil. The top layer of the soil is rich in humus, that is the fertile part of the soil. Removal of the upper layer of the soil is called what? Soil erosion. Okay, so this upper layer of the soil is blown away by wind or washed away by running water. So running water, fast running water, for fast flowing water as well as fast blowing wind. Because of these factors, the top soil or humus is removed. So that is called soil erosion. So removal of top soil or upper layer of the soil is called soil erosion. Certain factors that may cause soil erosion, isn't it, mom? So because of soil erosion, what will happen? Loss of humus. Loss of humus. What is humus? Humus is the fertile part of the soil layer which is rich in nutrients. It is applicable for plant growth. Now, soil erosion, what are the, why it is happening, how it is happening? Because of loss of humus. Causes of soil erosion, loss of humus decreases the fertility of the soil. Decreases the fertility of the soil. Next, about agents of soil erosion. Agents of soil erosion. Agents of soil erosion. High velocity of wind, then or air current, then fast flowing water, then certain human activities such as deforestation, farming, then overgrazing by cattle. All these are the causes of soil erosion. What are the agents of soil erosion? High velocity of wind. If the wind speed is very high, it may blown the topsoil. Okay, the topsoil is, if there is high velocity of wind, topsoil is blown away by wind. Then if it is flood, the topsoil is washed away by water, isn't it? So high velocity of wind, air current, flowing water, then human activities such as deforestation, farming, overgrazing by cattle, all these causes the soil erosion. Okay, so soil erosion may result in the destruction of certain trees and plants. Okay, now management of soil erosion. How to control soil erosion. Okay, management of soil erosion or how to control soil erosion. First is retain vegetation. Plant more trees and small shrubs, small plants, etc. Retain vegetation cover so that soil is not exposed out, isn't it, ma'am? If there is more plants or vegetation is more in an area, we cannot able to find the soil there, isn't it? So retain vegetation cover so the soil is not exposed. If the soil is exposed, if there is no vegetation or if it is a barren land, the soil may exposed out. The soil is easily blown away by wind and washed away by rainwater, isn't it? So how to control soil erosion or prevention of soil erosion? First one is retain vegetation cover so that soil is not exposed. Okay. Second one is overgrazing should be controlled. If the animals are grazing a particular area, the soil where the topsoil is exposed out, isn't it? So the cut stalks only will, if by overgrazing, the cut stalks of plants only will be there. The topsoil is exposed, so there is a possibility of the topsoil blown away by wind. So overgrazing should be controlled. Third one is crop rotation and soil management is improved. That is crop rotation. What do you mean by crop rotation? The practice of growing a pulse crop and cereal crops in an area alternatively. Okay, practice of growing several crops in one season in the same land should be cultivated by other crops in the next season. That is crop rotation. Rotation of crops. Practice of growing cereal crops and pulse crops alternatively in an area. It can prevent soil erosion. Because of crop rotation, the area should be enriched with the nutrients. Okay, so that is also one of the method to improve the soil fertility. Next, the runoff water should be stored in catchments. Okay, we should not allow the water to run off. it should be stored in ponds or the water bodies, etc. Okay, or in or in certain water bodies, etc. So runoff water should be stored in catchments. Next, reforestation. What is reforestation? Planting more trees. Okay, reforestation and terrace farming, stepwise farming, and counter ploughing. So this counter ploughing also can stop the flood. Okay, so it can arrest the flowing of this water, so that this can also prevent soil erosion. Next, wind speed can be controlled. The wind speed can be controlled by planting more trees. So, if these are the agents of, these are the methods to prevent soil erosion. Children, you all know what is soil erosion, isn't it? Removal of topsoil, that is soil erosion, and how this, what are the factors may cause the soil erosion. Then how to prevent soil erosion. So we should not allow the soil to erode. Okay, so how to prevent soil erosion as first as retains vegetation cover so that the soil is not exposed out. Then overgrazing should be controlled. Then third is crop rotation and soil management is improved. Then next is runoff water should be stored in catchments. The next one is the fifth prevention is reforestation, terrace farming, and counter ploughing. Okay, then wind speed can be controlled. These are the ways to prevent soil erosion. Okay, so these are the ways to prevent soil erosion. Children, you must learn these answers. How to prevent soil erosion, what is soil erosion, what are the agents of soil erosion. Okay, children, now you all turn page 326. You all turn page 326. Take page 326. Roman number 1, second turn, removal of soil particles from the land is called what? Soil erosion. Soil erosion. Now turn page 327. Short answer question. What the short answer in a sentence? Answer in a sentence. Third one, Roman number 5. Third one, what are the agents of soil erosion? What are the agents of soil erosion? The answer is there in page 318. Page 318. Sorry, page 318. Agents of soil erosion. Roman number 5, question number 3, agents of soil erosion. Second paragraph, agents of soil erosion are high velocity of wind, air currents, flowing water, landslide, human activities such as deforestation, farming, mining, and overgrazing by cattle. Okay, then long answer, second one. Long answer, second one. Roman number 7, second one. How will you prevent soil erosion? Answer is there in the same page 318. 318, management of soil erosion. Or how will you, this heading, how will you prevent soil erosion? What is the retain vegetation cover so that soil is not exposed? Overgrazing should be controlled. Crop rotation and soil management improve soil organic matter or soil nutrients. Next, runoff water should be stored in the catchment. Reforestation, terracing and counter ploughing. Then wind speed can be controlled by planting trees in the form of shelter belt. It can wind speed can be controlled by planting trees. It can arrest the fast blowing wind, isn't it? So in the form of shelter belt. These are the points you must learn, children. So for today's assignment, Roman number 5. Question number 3, and that is answer in a sentence. Then Roman number 7, it's a long answer. Second question. Okay, children, you have to learn and write it in the notebook. then the fill in the blanks also. First do your learning and writing in the notebook. Okay children, thank you. We shall meet again in the next class.